Hello, everyone. I just want to share with you a quick little story about how I envision this year that's going to be not just for myself, but for you as well. I just watched during the holiday season a movie on Netflix called The Piano Lesson. And there was a line in that movie that really struck a nerve with me because of what my wife and I were already in the process of doing. The line was where this young man who was sitting in a large piece of land with his father, and in that they were kneeling down, and the father was talking to the young man, saying to him, as he was lifting up some of the dirt and or soil, it's two different things, in his hand. As he was lifting them up in his hand, he started to pour it out, and he said as he was saying to his son, that there's a difference between dirt and land and or soil. Now, as we think about that idea, what is the real difference? And so he started to explain to him that dirt is temporary, and I'm paraphrasing, dirt is temporary and land is forever. Because the dirt, in his words, were they blow away. So I had to take a time to take a look at this analogy. And so when I did, I found out that the dirt is just the particles, the loose particles of that soil or of that land. And so it does blow away, where the land and the soil has the nutrients and the minerals needed in order for growth to happen for life, paraphrasing. And here's why it's significant and why it applies to me. We saw this movie in the midst of us replanting some of our flowers and our plants within our home. I had been sick for a little while for the last couple weeks, feeling really under the weather, and I wasn't sure what was really going on. I had a lot of challenges, a lot of transforming of the mind. And so in this space, I had decided to my wife, hey, and speaking with her, that let's take some of our plants and flowers and repot them because they are also starting to overgrow within their pots. And in that space, I said, or in that mindset, I said, let's change the color scheme, and let's just go all wild and put plants all over the place, and let's have oxygen, permeating the place, whatever it might have said at that particular time that was rather off cuff at that time. But as we were doing this, and my wife is speaking to me about how to repot some of these plants and maybe create roots for some of these plants, taking them in water, or some roots are good and bad, and taking the pots and putting a layer of sand or pebbles or marbles, or so that things don't get root rot and things like that. So there was a lot of things that I had to learn and adjust to in the midst of, because this was a few days process. And during this process, we were looking at this movie, The Piano Lesson. And I heard this line, the difference between dirt and land and soil. And so now that we're going through this process and we have watched the movie and we have put these plants into these new pots, larger territory, what I did not understand at that particular time was that we have now disturbed their natural habitat, as we had enlarged their territory, added new dirt and water and all these other things, more food, things like that, that now it changed their structure and whatever else is going on with them. So I had to learn a whole lot in that process. And so over the last few days, I'm going to be honest with you, they look like they're dying. And I am not understanding why they are in this state. Now, doing some research, and understanding what it takes for these plants and things to uh, take root, that they're probably going through a state of stress, which a lot of us go through as we change our environment, as we change our mindsets, we are changing our breakfast table, as we're changing our work environment, or we're changing relationships, whatever might have happened over the last couple months, i.e., like myself, not feeling the greatest, my mind was changing, my environment was changing, where I wanted to do business and how I wanted to touch people, my messaging was changing, and I didn't understand how much potential stress I might have put myself under in that space. So, how many of you are stressing out as you are changing your environment, as you're growing, as your environment has enlarged, not understanding, and you think that, hey, I'm gonna be in a bigger place? Oh, I'm good. Well, no, there's some things that we have to adjust to in that soil. The other types of nutrients that's going on, and now we have to find out what we need to do to remedy or to lessen some of that stress. And one of the things I had learned in this plant replanting and repotting situation, something that I never even considered. For those of us that might have fish, and we understand as we add new fish to aquariums or things like that, there's a stress coat that you put into the water. And in my research, that is a possible remedy for these plants to adjust in their environment. And so for me, that was an unlikely situation that sometimes we have to be unconventional in our thinking, not traditional. We have to think outside of the box, look at all the other resources that we already have in our back pocket that might change and help us in our current situation as we are enlarging our territory. So I would like for each and every one of you this new year, as you are growing, as you are changing, as you're um, going to a place that is not normal, your old normal, but now it's going to be your new normal. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, my daughter is transitioning, and my son is transitioning into real adulthood right now, and now that's also a place of stress for myself as well. So everything around me is changing, and now I have to find a new space for me to be in and to allow my young adults to grow along with I'm growing as well, this old adult. So I would like to encourage each and every one of you to do the exact same thing. Find something that's going to help you change and allow you to grow and help everyone else around you to change and transform into who they are. Sometimes you have to do the research. Sometimes you need to have a movie that's going to help you grow. Sometimes you need to have a conversation with your spouse or your manager or whatever it is. Sometimes you need to sit down and just put your hands in the dirt and say, hey, you know what? This is too soft. It's going to blow away. But now let me get all the way down into the soil. Let me touch Mother Nature. Let me understand what I need to do to create this foundation that's going to help grow me, love me, mature me, give me patience and tolerance and all those things that I need to um, have in order for me to get to the next level in life. So I encourage each and every one of you to take a look at your pot, look how it's growing, what else has been added to it, and how you need to nurture it as you continue to grow. I wish each and every one of you a prosperous new year. Thank you very much for listening to me.